Hello and welcome to my channel. I stopped making some videos for quite some time, but for the moment being it seems to be okay again, and I'm back again in a certain way. I'll be back. And I will make a video today. I only made once during all my time I'm making videos. I made it in Luxembourgish or in German, the last one I did. And it has something to do with the fact that I got my order has arrived yesterday actually, and I have a lot of tarot decks to unbox. Four of all. I wanted to make the video immediately. I wanted to unbox the tarot decks immediately, but I was waiting for a phone call yesterday, so I really waited until today to do this unboxing video today. So actually there are four decks. I'm giving you a first insight concerning the boxes, and then I'm going to switch cameras to unbox and to show the cards and to look at the cards, take a look at the cards. Is there anything special? Yes, this one that is a bit special, but I'm going to talk about it later. And I will make also a small post where you can tell me if you want to see an interview with a deck, with one of the decks. So I'm going to propose the four decks, and you can ask for an interview with that deck, because I'm going to interview one of the decks at least. I'm going at least to make one video to interview a deck, so I will use the interview also to do a video. I did that once with Anthony's deck, and now I leave the choice to you watching me, which deck I'm going to use to make the video, the interview. So one that I bought, there's one that hasn't arrived yet because there's another Marchetti deck that is out and that I ordered, but it hasn't arrived yet. So for the moment being, I have Tarot of the Longest Dream. It's the only one that comes in one of those huge boxes. So I guess that there will be a bigger book inside. Then I have Tarot of the Great Outdoors. I saw some of the images, and I think this could be quite a challenge to read. I have Wanderer's Tarot. I have some of those boxes here. You know, they open like this. I have some decks that work like this, where the box works like this. So I'm really curious about it. It came, unfortunately, with you see the corner has been touched, but the cards, I just checked that the cards are okay, even if I wasn't unboxing, but I checked that first. And then I have one deck. I'm very curious about that, because actually the first thing is, it is explained immediately in the explanation when you buy the deck that it has been made by the help of artificial intelligence. By the help of, so it's not been made completely, but they explain that the help has been that artificial intelligence has been used. And the name of the deck, well, you know my internet nick is Shade, and funny enough, that is the name of the deck. And the pictures I saw online, they are quite fascinating me. And I saw a video. I'm just going to explain this before I start unboxing the decks. I saw a video of Thiel who explains something about artificial intelligence. And I think this is very interesting and very important in a certain way. Sure, for the moment being, we have this aspect that we say it is going to take away our jobs, our art, and so on and so on. And there are two things. The first thing that came into my mind, this is something that happened to mankind already very often. For example, when the first machineries came out, the first machines, for example, to produce shoes, the shoemakers felt threatened about it. They had every right to do so. It's not a critic against those people. And that is actually where the word sabotage comes from, because they had those shoes made out of wood, and they threw them into the machines to destroy the machines so that people would come back to them to ask them to make the shoes. And still, life went on. So don't get me wrong, this is not to say we should not whine about this, but maybe we should have a different way to take a look at it. So this is something that happened during all this time, and we always get into such a situation, and then mankind becomes creative and has other things to do. So maybe instead of simply going, you still have the right, and I'm also taking a very critical look at AI, so don't get me wrong on that. But instead of simply going completely against it, maybe try to find out where you can use your energy in a better way. And the second thing is what Pierluca said, everything is consciousness, everything. Not simply us, not simply the animals, not simply nature, the trees and so on. But our car is made out of the same atoms that makes those consciousness. And IA is exactly the same. And if IA is learning and evolving because consciousness is evolving, then we should become aware that it will learn from us how we treat it. And that means if you don't have the certain respect concerning all that, then IA1 will get this and will understand that humankind is not respectful versus consciousness. And maybe we should keep that a little bit in mind and stay a little bit polite concerning all this, and not simply say, well, yes, it is something not really existing, it's artificial, and that is the right why we can treat it as we like. It is something artificial that is going to learn, and it's going to learn from us. And I think that was a very interesting thing concerning what Pierluca said about IA. So, enough of my typical lessons. I'm going to switch cameras, and I'm going to, well, not see you back, but you're going to see the deck. So let's start with the deck, with the decks. So my first deck I'm going to show is the Wanderer's Tarot. Just a moment. So the Wanderer's Tarot is by Pierluca Zizzi and Michele D'Aloisio. So sounds already again very Italian, and I don't see that in a negative way, so don't get me wrong. I think it is very fascinating how many artists concerning tarot are still from that region where tarot was first found as a complete set, as a complete deck. So you can already see some of the images. I'm pretty sure you're going to find them in the cards themselves. It's Lusco Scarabeo. I just see it's 80 cards with book, and it opens like a drawer, so it is. And here again, you have a beautiful image already, a beautiful imagery outside. And as I said, the cards were not touched by this little accident. Here again, cards deck. The box is beautifully made. It also has this little velvety touch to it. So the cards themselves, as I'm saying, they have not been touched. I have to take them out, and then you have one of those small booklets about. I am just checking. So they're talking about journey and treasure. So, for example, Six of Pentacles, the journey. A good traveler also wants others to visit wonderful places. He or she generously accompanies and guides them and earns their appreciation. And then you have treasure, share your wealth with those who deserve it, for example. So you have a small explanation, and you also have it in translation. So you have it in English, and I guess the other one will certainly be Italian. You have two languages. So now I have to. This is the only thing I will not understand, especially in our time today, that we still have inside of the box the cards that are in some plastic. This is something I have to admit I am quite against it, and it's very difficult also to get this plastic, the cards out of the plastic. I'm always scared I'm going to harm, to break a card, to cut a card, or whatever. So I'm very curious that when they say 80 cards, what the cards will be that will be more than normally. So the cards themselves have quite thick stock, and they are very. I hope you can see they are mirroring a bit, so they are. Yeah, there you see something happened to the cards anyway, because there's something. At least the first one has scratches on it. So I'm trying to give you the option, the possibility to take a look at all the cards. So this for me has a sort of Alice in Wonderland touch. That is the magician that we had on the box. Oh, we have a magician and we have a shaman. Look, two versions here. We have a high priestess. This is quite interesting. They are so thick that I think that I have another one in that I have two cards, but that's not the case. So you can still see a lot of Rider-Waite in there, and then you have cards who completely cut through Rider-Waite, because the Chariot with the car, I think that is amazing. But I like the idea, because the beam of light sort of, you cannot focus really on something if you have one light going in one direction and one in the other. Both have to be put in a way that the beam of light really enlightens the street in front of you. So I think this is interesting. Wow. A lot of modern nuances in there that I like very much. Cards are very steampunk-like, I think. Yeah, you really see Rider-Waite. Also, a lot of Rider-Waite. Although the horse is reminds me a little bit of Binky. Whoever is Pratchett fan knows certainly what I'm talking about, or who I'm talking about. quite an interesting one too. Not that they are somewhere in the Seven of Cups, not that they just put there and you have to choose, but everyone is pushing. Really, take a look. They are nearly pushing the cups into her face, sort of take, and she doesn't have she doesn't even get the time to the possibility to take the time to choose correctly or to choose wisely. Also here, normally he turns the back, but here he comes to us. Also very interesting way. Very special. But I like that when you have on one side a little bit still a line of rider weight, so that you find your line, but on the other hand, you have other aspects that come along so that you can open your horizon. I like that kind of stuff. Oh, interesting, interesting. I think this will be a very interesting deck to work with. But again, as always, it's maybe not a deck for everyone. It's not, for example, someone who starts and wants a rider weight type of deck without being complete rider weight. It always can be that a person is just flashed by it and drawn by it, and the deck speaks to the person. But it would not be a deck I would logically and immediately say, okay, if you're looking for a rider weight style without being rider weight, then take this one. I would rather go for this might hurt or stuff like that. But again, if someone can work with a deck, and it's not to tell the person don't use it. That's my first thing. When I started working with tarot, I had one or two decks where people said, "Oh, that's far too difficult to begin with," and it were those that were talking to me. So it is always a question of how the person reacts and how a deck triggers you. But in the whole, um, you have always the option, and well, there are decks that are normally better fitted, but it doesn't necessarily mean that an unfit deck may not fit exactly you. This is a kind of take a look at this steampunky Six of Swords. This is amazing, amazing stuff. So personally, yes. Okay, I just found one of the cards because I said there were two. I missed one, certainly. But this is the first deck, so you got a first impression. I am curious. I have my two sisters who come to me. I'm very curious to see what they are going to say of the decks and what will be their favorite. You can also leave a comment in my well, you can leave a comment on my page. What is deck that you appreciated the most or the least? So the next one I'm going to use is that I'm going to check is the Great Outdoors. Let me check. Here there is. So you see, it's more like Maybe there will be people on the cards, but it's more like nature. So it's Joe Gordon, and the illustration are by Charis Steber. So I'm always hoping that I'm not mistreating their names. So it's one of those normal books. Again, it has this silky feeling. It opens very easy because sometimes you have to push and I'm always afraid that I'm going to harm the box. So the booklet is not. It's really just paper. It's not a special, but in the book you also have again the cards, small pictures of the cards with the explanation along with it, but only for the great arcana. The other ones are just small, so you have vessels. So the cards come out easily. They were not even. That's what I mean. Why put them into plastic? They are in a strong box. Why put them into plastic? The cards have, for me, a better feel than the other ones. They have this silky feeling also. They are quite thin though, so just to pay attention when you shuffle them, not to harm the cards. So they are like very have the same kind of details maybe, but in a beautiful way, so not in a negative way. Sometimes details are very important, and sometimes it can be hindering. And here, I think it is less dark than the other one. I think that the darkest one will be shade, but I like this style. It's just take a simple look at the whole picture and go for it. Also, it doesn't have borders, so something I'm always checking. Edition. Wow, this is a kind of high priestess. She's still sitting, but she is in movement. She's in motion, emotion. So I think this is very, very interesting. This could become a challenge, yes. Wait a second. Just see. Actually, they have. I don't know if you see it. Trying to get it clear. Over the high priestess in the picture, there you have the name where this place exists. So they have it everywhere. Take a look. To get it properly. You see, so everything that you have here, this place exists. Amazing, the nature. As I'm saying, it is a simple style of drawing, but I think they are very, very beautiful. What you hear there is my cat Mango. Him because he's whining, because he's starving. He did get fed about an hour ago. It's too long. He's hungry again. It's also a great way for the chariot. This is my power animal. So each time I see them there, for me, a card where that animal turns up is a very special card for me at that moment. Ha! The Hanged Man. Honestly, this is one of the most beautiful death cards I have ever seen. Pick them up then. Maybe I can find a way. Also, by the way, the back of the card, isn't that beautiful? This will be a challenge that's absolutely clear, but I think it is. They are so beautiful. Okay, I'm not. I'm not buying a deck when it's not speaking to me. So I have already seen several cards, and then I decided to buy it. But honestly, this is amazing. Also, not typical. You, there is the lesson or the message of the vessels is there, but without really focusing on the vessels. Like here, for example, I think this is amazing. The acts as vessels. Wow, I like that one. Ah, I like cards when it is from a certain point of view. So here you see who makes the photo. Let's put it like that. Wow. I like their active kings and queens. So normally it's more the knight who is active, but the other persons and the other aspects of our personality, they are not sitting around and doing nothing. I think they are beautiful. And what I also like, you see, you have people of different colors, of different races, but in a way, sometimes it is very much pushed into our face. So, sort of, you, yes, we have to show all those nationalities, and so, and here I think it flows into the cards without being pushed upon anyone in any direction. And honestly, I always have this kind of scenery. I know someone who's going to like this card. I like. What would you say? I think this is so beautiful. Ace of Blades. How cute is that? Yeah, two of Blades. Good idea. I like those ideas. I like this new ways to look at some of the cards, at some of the aspects. Not to simply, as I'm always saying, your lessons, your teachings concerning tarot should be like you have a frame that stays the same, but in the frame you have the intuitive things that you see linked to your life or to the life of your current. And cards like this, open up this thing. So the frame is still there. You still see the message behind. Okay, there's not anything doubting it, but it's another look on it. Sometimes a more modern look at it, because I like this way to bring up all those images about the snow, not simply the snow, because normally you have the snow and then it's winter, it's snow, and it's calm, and everything is sleeping. And here you have the action in this. Okay, then you have the cards. So you have the small explanations about the vessels, about the sticks, the blades, and the stones, and then also the minor, numbers of the minor arcana, and port cards. I think this is quite, to have it very small in a small way, and as very often the Celtic cross, which I have to admit I'm not using very often anymore. So again, if you like, tell me your impression about the deck in on the page. I am very curious to hear your point of view of the cards, and tell me also if that is the deck you would like me to make an interview with. Third one. Tarot of the Longest Dream, Roberto Innocenti. Here the box has also, sometimes when you, I'm not sure, sometimes when I have boxes, I had one of the boxes of one of Anthony's decks that came also and were, well, not in the best shape anymore. And she was like, I'm going to send you a new deck. But the deck was whole. And yes, I know a lot of people, when they have a lot of decks, they want everything to be perfect. But I'm using those decks. Some are not even in the boxes anymore, especially the big boxes. I take them out, I make them into pouches. I have just a pouch that is lying around here. I'm certainly going to use it here to so it's easier to carry it along, and I rarely take the books along with me. So you see, it's one of those boxes that you open like this. Certainly, this is their image of the Wheel of Fortune, which is beautiful already. While the card, the fool that we see on the book is already very Rider-Waite-like. Also in the book, you see you have the images, and you have, let me check and show you that. You have like sketches of the images. Wow, I think this is beautiful. How they were drawn. I like this. And then you have even, yes, the dream. So you have also dream interpretation of some of the aspects that you have on the card. You find the dream interpretation, which is explained in the book also. So not simply the card, but also if you're dreaming about something like that, it is also a book concerning dream interpretation. I think this is pretty cool. And again, a typical thing. I'm not going to whine about it again, but it is again in plastic. Just a moment. I have to get it out of the plastic. So the cards are a little bit like the ones of the first deck that I have shown you, with this shiny, aspect on it. Very curious. I always at the end I'm saying, okay, I'm going to uh, shuffle them to see how they shuffle, and at the end I put them away, and I'm saying, oh damn, I forgot to shuffle them, because I don't want to shuffle them in the beginning, because I want to show them to you in order. So as you can see, let me try. I think they are visible like this. As you can see, you have a lot of Rider-Waite aspects, but I like the way they are put around. You know, like here, the High Priestess is not she has her frame, but it is open behind, without the veils and so on. Because the High Priestess, yes, in a certain way, she is the one who can see beyond the veil, but maybe it also shows that it is possible for all of us that the things are visible unveiled. So I like this kind of image. Oh, and I also like the back. This is special. Ah, I like that Empress. She has this sort of, I know exactly where I'm sitting, and she doesn't have this kind of humility that sometimes I'm not sure it's very sane and safe for us. So I like this way of the Empress to be drawn. Here we have even more right away than in the first one. And again, you have cards like this that totally break from the typical rider weight. You still have the lion and you have the woman, but for the rest, there it is, as I said. For people who go with um, the typical image and the typical symbolism of a rider weight, they will maybe a deck for them. We're talking about the moon today. This is a kind of moon that I have to show my friends sort of how do you see that moon? Nothing to say against it. So I just said typical right away, and then I see this and say, okay, maybe not. It's also the other way around. I think this is interesting. Great, great thing, great picture to think about. Um, I have from also Scarabeo. No, it's Lolin made a rider weight version, a softer rider weight version, and I love working with that one. So it's not the symbolism of rider weight that is not my thing, but I am. It's the imagery. I know that a lot of people love that imagery, and I think that it is a great work of art because, especially at the time it was made and so on. So don't get me wrong, but we are evolving. Our look at tarot is evolving. Our look at the life is evolving. So the cards have the right to evolve, and the artists have the right to let the images evolve. And as I'm using the cards also very much for therapy, take a look at the typical rider weight. 90% of the cards, people are just in a bad mood. Take a look at their faces, and it's not a deck you can work with if you want to tell the person, okay, pick the card that shows you how you feel when the problem is solved, because then the person is saying, okay, do I still have to be in a bad mood even if the problem is solved? So it's not really a good thing. This is an amazing card. I love that one. Normally they have firm earth under their feet, but here not. Still, as you see, you have those details that still shift away from the typical rider weight. And I like that. It opens up our horizon. very different cultural aspects in there. Is it special? Maybe not my favorite from today. But I still think it's very fascinating and it has a lot of details that offer us the opportunity to take a new look at the Rider-Waite. So, you know the joke with the card where the tarot reader puts out the card and has the card with the small explanation or the card that shows another deck like this here, and then says, "Oh, I always forget to take them out of my deck." Well, that's me. Sometimes I forget it. I had actually, this is a deck, I had it, and I know a lot of people who just loved it. I sold it because people were so fascinated about it, and it doesn't speak to me at all. Those, I use them always when I'm reading a book, a good way, a book sign where I am. And then last, but I hope definitely not least, the shades tarot. So first of all, the box is amazing. So the whole thing is, written on it. You can sense it. Here, the border, you can sense it. So the box already in itself is so beautiful. Here too, you feel it. It's not simply written on, but it's a little bit like not etched into, but the other way around. So then you open it like a drawer. Have even a small thing. Again, the silky feeling, and you can. What do we have here? A thank you card. Thank you for being part of our story. Shater, as I'm saying, it's funny. Shater. And I know, as I'm saying, this is IA amongst it, helped by IA, and yet I love it. A rose quartz that comes along. We take a look at the book, also with the images already. Reversed meaning. I didn't see the reversed meaning in others. I'm not for the reversed meaning. I think that by putting up positions where you, when you're drawing cards and you put them into special positions, you have already an idea if it is a more positive way to look at the card or a more negative way, or maybe a warning or more a gift or something like that. So that is why I don't use reversed cards. I have seen already and I have heard the reaction of people who said, if you are not able to read reversed meanings of a card, then you are not a good tarot reader. Don't go for that. Don't listen to them. It doesn't have anything to do if you are a good reader or not at all. And there are other things that are more important, and especially because people say the reversed meaning is, yeah, well, reversed. No, if it's a negative card, it's even more negative if it is reversed. So I don't get it, and a positive card never gets negative with them. So no, that's not the way it's going to be seen with me. Here they have, because the cards don't fill the whole box, so they have like velvety thing at the side so that the cards aren't going to be pushed around and are going to be harmed. So again, plastic. I'm going again to try and open them. And now I am more than curious about the cards themselves. It's also this shiny way of cards. They are somewhere in the thickness between the Great Outdoors and the Wanderer Tarot, somewhere in between. They don't have borders at all. They are completely in black and white and grey tones. And I think this is one of the darker decks. Sometimes people say it's the decks are more for shadow work, but it's called shade. So if this is not shade, I don't know. So let me take a look at those cards. It's very, very special. This is quite a magician. Not as typical that he's in uh, the most important of the whole card. Do you know? I hope they come out as you can see them on the screen, because they are even better on the screen with what I see than on the cards themselves. This is amazing. But he's part of the whole imagery, and I love that because it gives us the opportunity not to simply see us like, yes, who are we, but who are we in the situation we are in. So I love this. This will be a tough one. This is a real challenge. The chariot. This is so untypical. Some cards will really, really, really be. But I need that. I am so used with tarot that someone can tell me, oh, yes, and then I got the card, I don't know, the Three of Wands, and I'm like, yes, okay. And this forces me to take a new look. Honestly, I know a lot of people are taking a very critical look at IA, but has been made with the help of, so it's not completely made by IA. But honestly, if you need one to be maybe triggered into a more darker way, this could be what you're looking for. I stick a little bit, but I have to say, throughout all the decks, I have very often decks where you have cards that stick together. Those are the first decks where I don't have it. This was the first one where I did it a bit, but not in a way that I was afraid to take them apart. I am aware that with all the decks that I have shown today, that there is really from to. So you have something that is great outdoors, which is very, call it nearly a happy one, and this is the other side of the happy one. Amazing. I'm aware it's always a question of taste. In a certain way, I am glad that my taste doesn't go into one single direction. I know people who say, no, if the deck is not a happy deck, then I don't want it, and everything has to be sugar coated. Do you know the thing about sugar coated? It always reminds me of 6 Days and 7 Nights when Anahish asked Harrison Ford how bad the situation was, and he said, "Do you want it sugar coated or right between the eyes?" And she says, "Go ahead." And he explains all the catastrophes that are there. And then she says, "Is it too late to get it sugar coated?" And he means that was sugar coated. And it is not everything is not sugar coated. And I think as long as it is on cards, you're safe at home or you're in a safe place. And then you have the possibility to look at cards that maybe scare or frighten you. And you still know that physically you are in a safe place. I think this is important in a certain way. So this is my opinion. But then just to walk around and only want to have decks that are happy and nice and cute. Life isn't like that, and at least this way we can face it, can face those parts of ourselves without without having a physical threat in a certain way. So I hope you got a first look at all those decks. Close that box again. And maybe there is one deck or another one where I say, oh, maybe I'm trying to get that one too. Maybe say, no, this is not one of them is speaking to me. Or maybe you say, that is the one I want and I would never touch that one. Whatever. I am going also to make it a small post where I'm going to propose if you want to see an interview, one of those decks. So you can I'm going to make a small poll, and the deck that gets the most voices, I'm going to make an interview. The interview like, tell me something about yourself. What is the subject you are best in? What can I learn from you? Where are your limits? And what is our outcome? The outcome of our working, something like that. Into that direction. In that direction, I will go to make an interview with the deck later on, with one of the decks at least that I made as a video. So please feel free to make the poll. Please feel free to comment in the remarks so that I have maybe an idea and an opinion from you concerning the decks. And as always, feel free to click on the links and to see maybe further, maybe less unboxing because I'm not the unboxing type, but other videos about tarot, about readings, about also runes, and also about witchcraft or my kind of alternative psychology, which is a mixture between Taoism, and NLP. So I hope you liked the video and I thank you for watching.